Oh.
Genius billionaire playboy from
Why so serious?
I wish I knew how to quit you.
You talking to me?
Life was like a box of chocolates.
You can't handle the truth.
I see dead people.
Say hello to my little friend.
Here's Johnny.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. I'll be back.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Picture This Film Reviews, where today we will be discussing Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2. Or if you want to be like me and consider them one movie, Dark Knight Returns. So we're going to kick things off and ask everyone how their week was. So who wants to kick it off? How was their week? Dan, I pick you. How was your week?
Week was fantastic. It's the second week that I got to just see my little boy do his soccer practice, so that was awesome. Little girl's wrapping up dance practice. Saw a couple movies while we were out and about this week. What did we watch?
Finished Moonshot. Is that what that's called? Moonshot.
Yeah.
We finished that. That was pretty good. It was actually like your typical like teenish movie, but it was really funny. What else did we watch? We watched something else.
Your movie with Ben Affleck.
I watched Dan was there, but he really didn't watch it. I watched The Tender Bar on Prime. Has anybody seen that?
Yes.
Oh my god, it was so good.
See,
Ben Affleck was like fantastic in that.
He was good in it. I just overall, I don't know, maybe because I went in with very high hopes, I just didn't like it as much. But it was.
I loved it so much.
It was a decent movie.
I loved it. It was perfect. It might make it on my top 10. I don't know. It was absolutely perfect. I loved it, dude. I think I fell in love with Ben Affleck a little bit in that movie. Oh Uncle Charlie was the best. Anyway.
So
I watched
they're going to
it.
get anybody to ever like Ben Affleck in a movie role and make him play somebody's uncle because he sucks at everything else.
No, he was so good. It was so good. We watched something else, but I don't remember what it was.
Not important.
He never remembers anyway.
I don't remember anything. But yeah, that's our week.
It's very weird.
Matthew, how was your week?
I'm having an okay week. I started a new job. I'm doing good. I'm doing well.
Is that why you're clean shaven like me? I got a new job, so.
No, I clean shaved just because the gray was starting to come through a little too much. So when that happens, I just shave it and then let it grow again. And then once it gets too gray, I shave it again. So it's just like a constant every other week thing where I'm shave it all off. Just sometimes it doesn't hit the show the time we record. So sometimes you see me shaving and sometimes not. I watched a movie called The Cursed. It's a brand new movie. It's a horror movie. I really liked this movie. It might be one of my favorites of the entire year so far. And I did not expect it. I heard about it on another podcast and I went ahead and watched it. And it's like a set back in like the 1800s. So I wasn't real sure, like, because I'm not crazy over like period pieces like that, but this blew me away. And it didn't have any like name actors in it really. I mean, there's a couple people that I recognize from like other shows, like British shows and stuff, but like it was for what it was. It was up there. It was up there. So if you get a chance to check out The Cursed, the 2022, I think there's other movies called The Cursed, but the 2022 movie, The Cursed, check that out.
Was it super scary?
No, it was just, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's kind of like a werewolf movie without actually being a werewolf movie.
It sounds interesting.
Yeah. I dug it. I dug it way more than I expected.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, Seth. We watched that Scream, that fan-made Scream.
We did.
That's what it was on YouTube.
All of us forgot that we hung out.
Yeah, that wasn't bad for what it was.
Honestly, I've seen a lot worse Hollywood films and like
True.
big films. That wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody was creepy in it though. Sorry
Yeah.
if you're watching this. Ugh.
we watched a fan-made Scream movie on YouTube, which I guess has been getting a lot of attention. So we watched it, and it wasn't the worst Scream I've ever seen.
Oh, okay.
Some of the worst.
How long?
Sorry,
How long was it?
an hour.
Yeah, like an hour.
Some of the worst acting I've ever seen at points, but not the worst movie overall I've ever seen.
Lots of smiling in
Oh.
very wrong times, at very wrong times. But that was about it.
Like I just love like if you could get stabbed in the chest and you're like dying, you just look up and you just smile at the person like, eh. Sorry.
It was very weird.
Well, very good, very good. I as well had a good week. I watched a couple random things. Started off with The Crow. I hadn't seen that in years. Really good. Nothing too mind blowing. It's The Crow. And then I watched Morbius on Sunday, and that was fine. Nothing seriously wrong with it. I think I gave it like 5 out of 10, something like that. I thought the vampire stuff in that was really cool. I enjoyed that. And then the villain was played by Matt Smith, I think, and he was good. I liked him. And then I thought he and Jared Leto had a good dynamic. But it's just nothing exceptional or groundbreaking. If that movie came out in the late 90s or early 2000s, it would have been the biggest movie out, I think. But since this is 2022 and we have all these fancy movies now, it wasn't highly rated, but it does not deserve the 15% that it has on Rotten Tomatoes currently. Following that, I watched these the Batman movies we're going to be reviewing here in a little while, and last night I watched Beetlejuice, just completely random. Just felt like watching Beetlejuice, so I did. And I was telling Matt it gets better and better with each viewing. So that was about all I did. So we will kick it off to me again for the news. Sorry, Dan. We'll get to you later. First things first, Warner Brothers has paused all future Ezra Miller projects after his arrest. If you're not familiar with that, Ezra Miller was like, he's arrested for like assault, something like that. I don't know. Look it up. He's not a very nice person in these reports. Following that, John Cena's next movie that he's going to be filming is going to be called Officer Exchange for Amazon. It's like an action adventure movie set in India, I believe. Peter Ramsey, he's one of the co-directors of Into the Spider-Verse, will direct at least one episode of the Star Wars Ahsoka series. It's pretty exciting. Now, this is probably pretty big news for a lot of people out there, but I can't relate to this one, unfortunately. Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul will be returning for Better Call Saul, the final season, in their Breaking Bad characters. So that's cool if you like that stuff.
Very excited.
Brie Larson has joined the cast of Fast and Furious 10. So,
Oh my God. Vin Diesel was so
Why?
psyched. He is so psyched. He's like, she's gonna bring some kind of majesty or something crazy to the
Majesty?
franchise. Yeah, it's very weird.
Why would she do that?
I don't know.
That's just like a
it's
career.
Vin Diesel. My dad turned on Triple X before I started this show, and that was something. I'd rather watch Morbius on repeat than watch Triple X.
The first Triple X, I remember enjoying the first Triple X. Of course, I haven't watched it since
It came out.
2000, but
Well done. You want to talk about some bad acting and bad writing? You got it right there. Walker Scobell from the Atom Project will be the lead in the new Percy Jackson series. It looks pretty exciting. I saw a little bit of the Atom Project, and I liked the kid actor there, so I'm sure he'll do fine in this new role. The Batman will be premiering on HBO Max on April 18th, which is just under a week away. So if you want to rewatch it again, watch it at your house. Emma Mackey and Will Ferrell have been cast alongside Margot Robbie in the Barbie movie. That movie is getting quite the cast.
Yeah. Good.
So I'm looking forward to that. We'll see how that ends up. Sam Bailey and Angela Barnes will direct the Ironheart series on Disney Plus. Totally random. I had like double checked this one yesterday because it was just so out of the blue. Casper the Friendly Ghost series is in the works at Peacock, and it will be a darker take that reimagines the origin of Casper in a coming-of-age story that explores what it means to be alive. So,
live action?
Interesting.
That's what I was going to ask. Live action?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Hoping it doesn't go like the Sabrina route and like go super dark.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
All right, and Dan and Kayla were on me hardcore earlier to report on the Stranger Things trailer. I already had it covered. But
That was me.
Whatever. It's usually Kayla who gets mad at me about this. That was a thing that happened. I did not watch it. I don't watch Stranger Things. So, Matt, do you want to explain this trailer for anyone?
I'll let Kayla explain. She looks very excited, so I'll let her do it. But
no, you explain.
I don't have anything really to explain. The new trailer came.
I don't really
some reservations.
I don't really have much to explain about it, but there's like so much going on in this trailer that I don't know if they're showing you stuff that from the first part that they're going to split it in or the second part, but there was just a lot to jam pack and to unpack in this trailer. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I'm definitely getting somebody important is going to die vibes. And I really hope it's not Steve Harrington because I legit will cry. I seriously will cry. I will cry and I will die and it will be the end of me.
Jeez.
I'm sorry. I love Steve Harrington so much. So I don't know. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Stranger Things. It's been 3+ years and I just can't contain my excitement. I love it so much.
We got our first glimpse at Robert Englund, old Freddy Krueger himself, with the no eyeballs.
You know, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I like the direction they're going with this, because I feel like they're really going far away from the magic and the nostalgia and everything else that the first 3 seasons had. This just seems a little too, like, it's not magical, the word that I'm looking for, like too, I don't know.
It's almost
like,
getting that Harry Potter treatment where it started out. Yeah, where it started out nice kid, like friendly.
No. I don't care about the friend. It was never friendly from the beginning because people were dying.
What are you talking about?
No, I mean they were dying.
You had characters like Dustin to soften the blow,
they killed the hamburger dude in the very beginning of the first season.
I mean,
they did. I forgot about that.
Anyway, it's taking a direction. I'm not sure if I like it or not. We'll see how it goes. Sorry. I mean, we could make a whole episode out of this. We really could. Actually, we should do that when the first
just on the trailer.
Just on the trailer. Yeah, we really could. But anyway, okay. Sorry, Seth. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
All right. Mega news. Biggest thing that we have had to report on. Spirit of Halloween store is getting a movie, which is going to have Christopher Lloyd and Rachel Lee Cook in it. So that's a thing that's happening. Be on the lookout for that.
What is it? Spirit Halloween?
Yeah, the Spirit of the Halloween store, you know, that like pop-up store that comes up every Halloween. Okay, well, that's the store is getting its own movie for some reason.
About the store?
Sure. It's just basically like these teenagers go into the store and then they realize it's haunted, and they have to like, do whatever they have to do.
Dude,
And
if
Christopher
it's
Lloyd's
like
gonna
a
be there.
cabin in the woods, kind of, that would be good.
Probably not.
Like a
I mean, even if
feel,
they
like you know
took-
what I mean, like a
even if
feel,
they
like the
took-
costumes come alive.
Like the R.L. Stein Goosebumps approach.
I was gonna say I'm getting Goosebumps vibes.
It's probably gonna be like that. But I don't know.
We don't know.
But Goosebumps didn't have Christopher Lloyd.
No.
True.
True, but it had Jack Black.
He should eat a can of beans in it.
Dennis the Menace.
Like the best.
Dude, that's like when I think of like, of course I think of a lot of stuff, but like seriously, like that creeped me out when I was little. Like he was a creepy hobo.
Yeah.
Ugh. Still get creeped out. Ugh. Anyway. Is that all,
All right,
your
that
news?
was all the news I had.
Dude,
Well,
what
oh,
about Gilbert, man?
Yeah, Gilbert Godfrey.
What? Who? What?
I thought you said the text earlier. Who sent the text?
I sent the text. Seth obviously didn't read it.
That Gilbert Godfrey passed away. Was it today?
Today.
Yeah, at 67 years old after a long illness, it said. Was it cancer?
It didn't say what the illness was.
But R.I.P.
Don't tell me you are looking up who Gilbert Godfrey is right now,
The
Seth.
voice of the
No,
parent
it's
off
actually-
Aladdin. Well, he was in a lot of stuff, man. His voice is like super iconic.
He was the Affleck duck.
You know,
Affleck.
Oh, that's right.
He was Iago in Aladdin. He was in Problem Child in the 90s. He was
Oh my God,
everything.
yeah. I can't believe, like,
and then also backtracking to your like Ezra Miller stuff. I know Will Smith, like some of
Oh,
that's
yeah.
starting to
It's been
get kicked
banned.
up. Like
Yeah.
a lot of his movies or upcoming projects have been dropped. He had a
they banned
thing
him
with
from Academy.
Netflix. He's like been dropped off of. Like a lot of stuff going on.
That's
with
pretty big.
that.
That's
Yeah.
pretty big, man.
Not as big as the Spirit of Halloween store movie.
Is it going to be called Spirit of Halloween? I just thought it's called Spirit Halloween.
Hmm.
There's an of in there?
I thought there was. Am I wrong?
If it has anything to do with Halloween, Seth gives it half a star. Unless it's Michael Myers.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Aw,
Now, if it's an
you told me
anime
like-
Halloween, then you get half a star.
Let's play nice.
Well, that's all the play dice games.
All the news.
Um,
You're welcome.
Give it up for Seth, everybody. He brought us the news another week.
best news dude ever, Seth.
Let's kick things off to Dan the man over there with our statistics for the movie.
Hot dog. So we're talking about The Dark Knight Returns, folks, directed by Jay Oliva, written by Bob Goodman, based on The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller and Klaus Janson, starring Peter Weller, Ariel Winter, David Selby, Wade Williams, Michael Emerson, Mark Valley, edited by Christopher Lazinski, music by Christopher Drake. I know you guys like to talk about scores, so now you have somebody to, give credit. It's produced by Warner Brothers, DC Entertainment, and distributed by Warner Home Video. Part 1 was released September 25th, 2012. Part 2, which we will also be discussing, January 29th, 2013. And I hope we will be talking about these as separate entities while we're talking, like not as one part, but if we do, that's cool. Running time.
We can do that. I can separate it.
Part 1 was 76 minutes in length. Part 2 also 76 minutes in length. So pretty cool how they split that up. Part 1 earned $5,993,000 from domestic home video sales. Part 2 earned $4,283,000, which brought a total home video earnings to $10,277,000. Critical response for this, Rotten Tomatoes gave Part 1 a score of 100%, based on reviews from 5 critics with an average rating of 7.9. IGN then talks about the reviewers. It did receive a Golden Reel Award nomination for the best sounding editing in direct-to-video animation. And as far as the budget, for some reason I could not find what the budget was, but $10 million for an animated flick, not too bad. For the video, I'm sure it did a little better than that with wherever else they put it, but it's what I got.
Cool beans. Wait, you did IMDb and all that stuff?
It was very weird trying to find any kind of information on this.
I think IMDb I saw gave it like an 8 or something.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 stars on IMDb for part 1. Part 2 got an 8.3 out of 10 on IMDb. And
Okay, cool beans.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
Google.
Ren and I will kick off the reviews. So I had seen these on a few occasions in the past because I love these movies a lot. They're not my, you know what? I think they are my favorite animated Batman movie. I have a lot that I like a lot, but this one I always find enjoyment in. And I haven't even read the comic yet. I own it. I bought it with Matt actually. And yeah, just I really enjoy this movie, or movies if you want to count it as two. And there's not much to say. It's just like it's a really interesting story. I like old grizzled heroes and seeing how they react and everything. Mostly because they're a lot more brutal because they're old and they can't do as much. So they cut to the chase and just beat the crap out of you. I like that. Part 1 I like a lot for like the world building and like setting up how this Gotham City has changed since Batman Year One, which is technically a continuation off of that. And I like part 2 for the continuation of like how the first one ends off. It's like his Batman accomplishes his goal, which was to stop the mutants and kind of rid Gotham of like the big crime wave that's going on. And he very easily could have just hung up his boots there, but he didn't because he's Batman and he kept going. So I think out of the two, I like part 2 better, which before I started this, I thought I liked part 1 better. But after watching it again, I don't know, the Batman Joker dynamic was really awesome to watch. And then the Batman versus Superman fight is legendary, and I love that fight so much. Now in part 1, I get I think I was talking to Matt about this, but I never told him what my favorite quote was. Part 1 has one of my all-time favorite movie quotes in it, and that's when he's beating up the mutant leader, and he's like, "You don't understand, boy. This is not a mud pit. This is an operating table, and I'm the surgeon." As he proceeds to break all of his limbs. That is the most. I'm gonna curse here, so children cover your ears. That's the most badass line I've ever heard in my entire life, and I love that so much. So I'm gonna give part 1 and 2 both 10 out of 10. I'm gonna do that.
I want to go next.
No way.
I want to go next because I always go last, I feel like.
Go then.
Okay. Buckle up. Okay. So am I discussing 1 and 2 to like, I'll discuss 1 and then 2. Is that okay? Everybody? Okay. So this was like maybe the second animated Batman thing I've ever seen. Like the first one we saw was the Dracula one. Yeah. So I really didn't have like a lot to like really think about except for the Batman. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm being so annoying with my hands. So I'm sorry. Okay. The only reference I can really have are the Batman live action movies I've seen. So like I really didn't know what to expect, but I knew that it was going to be Batman when it was Seth's pick. So I was like, is this going to be good? What am I getting myself into? We got to watch 2 parts. Anyway. Okay. So I'll start off with pros of the first one. Pro, loved that it was an older Batman. You don't really see that often. You don't really see that at all. So this was like a really good, like fresh take on a Batman. And I love that he was older because like at this point, and I'm going to probably curse too, he was literally just kicking ass and taking freaking names. He had he was just doing whatever he wanted. And it was like, he was the law and that was it. And it was really cool to see like an older Batman. I just like can't get over the older Batman. I want to see so much older Batman stuff because older Batman is probably like the coolest Batman ever. And this was actually definitely a better Batman than I think versus the Dracula one. I just liked his aesthetic more. I couldn't really get over his like huge chin. I really didn't like that too much. Seth, do you know who the Crimson Chin is?
Now
Okay.
the text
Like,
makes sense.
Okay, yeah, I was like, dude, it is like legit the Crimson freaking Chin. He's got the biggest chin ever.
I didn't understand the text, and now it makes sense.
So that is like my biggest pro for this movie, is that Batman was just so cool. And I loved how like he just knew everything. Like he was just gonna kick your butt, and like he didn't care whether he hurt you or not. Like the other Batmans are like, not necessarily because like the new Batman movie, like not necessarily they're all reserved, but they're not just gonna like sit there and kick your ass and not even like care whether you get up off the ground or not. My con for this movie is I did not like the mutant gang at all. I thought they were really lame. And I was like, dude, Batman can do so much better than the mutants. Like they were just like, not even the big boss dude was like good. I liked him, but all the little dweeby mutants were so annoying. And I was like, they're so dumb and stupid. Like, oh, they were just getting on my nerves. So I really liked the first one. I can't remember if I was thinking of anything else. I'm going to give the first movie a 7 out of 10 because I really enjoyed it a lot. So there was a lot of promise rolling into the second one, because it kind of ends with, I'm trying to think of like, so he beats the mutant guy.
Joker.
Yes. So that's the whole thing. So it kind of like ends with that. Okay, Joker's going to go on this talk show. Rolling into the second one, they had this kind of like Harvey Dent thing where Harvey was going to be like, they're like from their therapist, like turned into good guys, blah, blah, blah. So there was a lot of promise for the second one. I'm going to go with my cons first for the second one. I feel like they jam-packed way too much into the second one for it to be as enjoyable as the first. You had the Superman versus Batman battle. You had Superman stopping this giant atomic bomb. You had the Russians, there was the Soviet Union, what have you, like just invading. You had American troops over there. What else? Oh my God, you had oh my God, there was like
Joker Batman fight.
There was so much that I found it to like, it wasn't as enjoyable as the first one. If they split that up into like 2 different things, it would have been good. But there was something that was really good in the second one, and that was the Batman versus Joker battle in the Tunnel of Love. That was so cool. I loved the way they did that because like you could tell that Joker and Batman had these years piled on against them, and that Batman truly, I think, became demented in the same sort of way that Joker was, because Batman turns around to Joker as Joker's like, sorry, spoilers, literally on fire, like his body is engulfed in flames, and you can still see his skeleton like smiling, and he's like, stop smiling at me or something like that. And I'm just like, dude, I'm like, you can tell he's effed up from this. Like he's an old man and these things are still haunting him. So you can see that's taken his toll. And I think that was the best part of that movie. And if it was just Joker versus Batman in that second movie, I think that second movie would have been better than the first, because there's just so much. So this second one is going to get 5 out of 10 for me. I didn't enjoy it as much. I don't really like, of course, there are 1 and 2, so they kind of do go hand in hand. But the first one to me was just overall better.
Stop. No. Come here. Sorry, my cat's having a conniption fit.
Catman.
Come here. Who's going next?
And you wanted to go really bad, so go ahead.
Okay. So the first one, part 1 of this movie. Let's see.
This has so much energy. So the first one.
I'm just thinking. I want to get my thoughts together because I want to give you the best review I possibly can.
Half a star. That's all you got to say.
No, I'm not going to say that. So anyways, we get into the movie. I agree with Kayla. I really did enjoy the older Batman. And I was thinking myself in these shoes, like if you had fought, I mean, years and years and put your life into this and you're flipping on the news, you've retired and you see that everything's going back to hell, like the city's falling apart, Gotham is, ripping apart at the seams, and not so much by like these individual villains like Joker or Two-Face or any of these, but really like the citizens of Gotham just turning into freaking delinquents. Like it's gotta be rough. And I think you put yourself in that mindset. It's like, so what are you gonna do? And I think he tried his best to stay away from it, but it was just something that he couldn't, as the Batman, a symbol of justice or retribution, or whatever he was for, letting that go. Um, he wasn't going to let his city go, and give him props for that. It was great story building. It was great to see a Gordon figure in here. I really didn't like this Commissioner Gordon as much as I have in like live actions or some of the other animated things that I've seen. One, like I felt like as the mutants progressed, like their whole thing was they kept saying they wanted to kill Gordon, kill Gordon, kill Gordon. And for a group of thousands of people to want to kill one man, and I think we saw one attempt on his life in a grocery store. I feel like there could have been more there, like a build up and probably a bigger arch there, but they didn't get the job done ultimately. So I'm glad Gordon didn't get killed in that, but I feel like there's a bigger opportunity to explore that. I can see why you like this, Seth, because I was getting a lot of Mad Max vibes. I know we were talking about that on the phone, just as far as the costumes, and we're dealing with a whole bunch of henchmen who are, like Kayla said, they're pretty dumb. And what are the two guys that are going back and forth? Rob, and what was the other one?
Don, I think, right?
It was like Don or something. Rob and Don, whatever.
Oh my God. I'm glad they were in there because they were obviously, or I hope they were comic relief. But it got to a point like, because you see them again in part 2, but they're not, mutants anymore or something else. But the thing that got me with this, everybody had a semi-automatic or automatic weapon. And then in the end, I was like talking to Kel, I was like, that's so weird. Why are they all shooting these weapons? And then later it comes out that the military has been supplying them, and this guy is just, fought for his country. So it starts to get into, I lost Seth, starts to get into why, or to show how, oh my God, to show how Gotham is like, corrupt all the way up, even to the military leaders. And that's something that we see in a lot of the Batman universes. Like, we know Gotham's corrupt. It's inevitable that it's going to come back to this, where it's going to fall apart. Batman's not there pulling it together. But the end of it, I enjoyed this. Overall, I'd give this movie an 8 out of 10, part 1. Then we see part 2. We start getting into Two-Face and how it's sad because he, I think when he was trying to get treatment in the hospital, he honestly probably thought they were trying to help him until they took the bandages off his face, and he's just convinced that he's the ugly Two-Face. They made both parts like look like he was ugly, like he still wasn't right. And you had this doctor character. Again, I feel like they could have did something just with him. And I was getting, was it Hugo Strange vibes off of this guy, but not to that extent. Like he was just anti-Batman and also whatever. But I feel like we could have gone further with him, but ultimately he gets his throat slit, blood everywhere. And we see all this other stuff go down. I was interested in the Batman or the Robin character they introduced. It sounds like there was a Robin that was still alive in this universe.
Dick Grayson.
Yes, he was still alive, but Batman apparently didn't communicate with him. I wish they could have did, an appearance. It would have been interesting to see how an older Robin would have been or what he was up to. And then we go down to the fight versus Superman. I know I skipped Joker. I'm sorry. That should have been, I agree with Kayla, the biggest part of the movie. I feel that Joker deserves that as the anti-Batman, the foil to Batman's character. I'm not going to repeat what she said. I feel like he definitely was drawn out. buy the Joker character in the end. The Joker saying, "Look, I got you to, was it go over the edge or blah, blah, I can't remember the exact line, but basically he made the Batman do exactly what he wanted the Batman to do, which is lose his cool, and he did that. And then, am I going to say that the Joker did that for him? I don't know, because he was kind of losing his cool before this.
Yeah.
There was a lot,
I don't think
lot going on. He's just old. He's tired dealing with the BS, man. You know. But then we fight Superman. I didn't understand how Superman grabbed the ground and sucked the life out of the plants and stuff around him. Maybe that's powers that he has in this universe. I don't know. When he got blown up by the nuke, like when he fell, he looked like a zombie. I was like, okay, we're gonna have a zombie Superman versus freaking Batman moment, and I was there for that. But when we had, old friends, Clark Kent, who doesn't age, Superman versus the older Batman, I was like, there's no way Batman's going to be able to do this. And then, you know what? Old buddy Kryptonite shows up to save the day. And then even at that point, I would have been okay with the movie ending. Batman, like the point that stood out to me in this part was Batman looks, I want you to know that I was the one to beat you. And I want you to remember that always. And then we have the heart attack, which I guess he either had a heart attack and didn't die, or he somehow made Superman think that he died. And then we're underground. What's that?
He took a pill or something like that to induce a heart attack, but it didn't actually like kill him. It just kind of like made his heartbeat like stop or whatever, and so Superman thought he was dead, and then that's why when he's like in the grave, the heartbeat comes back on, because the medicine or the pill was starting to wear off. So it was supposed to just be like a stage your death type thing. So
I got you. And then we're underground. We're building new bat caves and things like that. I feel like if we were going to go that route and fight Superman, and we're dealing with a late 60s, early 70s Batman, I guess, we should have probably killed him off. I think that we could have took a bigger message from that. Maybe we still had the mutants and Green Arrow and whoever else that are picking up the pieces after that and carrying on Batman's legacy. Because I feel like you get more of a feeling like, okay, what Batman did would have, the sacrifice would have been worth what he put into it. And ultimately, I think he really didn't go out. He told Robin or Alfred that he wasn't planning on coming back. And then they killed my man Alfred. They gave him a freaking stroke. He could have had, billions of dollars, lived out the rest of his life, but dude lived in servitude helping out Bruce Wayne, and they whack him too.
Well,
but
exactly.
whatever. So again, I agree with Kayla. There's a lot going on here. I don't necessarily think it was a bad film. I would probably rate this lower out of the two. I would give it maybe a 7 out of 10. But that's where I'm sitting on those.
Where were you on the first one?
An 8 out of 10.
Look, a lot of what I was going to say has already been said. So I'm going to try to say some things so I can talk, but like it's going to be mirrored off a lot of everyone else's opinions. It's kind of thing of when everyone's kind of thinking the same and you got to go last. So you kind of got to say everything that's already been said. Seth reminded me what I initially had told him about this movie. I guess at some point, I don't remember saying it, but I guess at some point when we discussed it, I said, it's fine. That was my opinion going into this. I'm glad that I did rewatch it because I do have a better appreciation for it now because I hadn't seen it since, would you say 2012, 2013, whenever it came out. I watched it when it was new and I own it, but I hadn't seen it since. So it was good to go back and refresh. And I gotta say, I enjoyed part one. Now, I guess it's my turn to curse. A hell of a lot better than I did part two. Part one was the movie that I was like, okay, wow, yeah, this is good. Like, this is way better than I remembered it being. Batman, as Kayla said, was just bigger and meaner than ever, and just like, oh, I'm Batman, oh, in the face, and like, oh, I'm breaking your bones, and oh, and it's like, wow, that's awesome. I'm not crazy over like the animation style, but I get they did that because of the comic book. I actually read the comic book in high school. I rented it from my library in high school and read it when I was like in ninth grade or something. And I ended up never returning it. Like I kept that book. So I knew the story early on, and I knew it was it's considered one of the best Batman stories ever in the comic land. And I think as far as conveying the comic book to the screen, I think they did a fantastic job, both parts. Because if you read that comic and then you watch these movies, it's almost like the exact same thing, just come to life, like down to the artwork, the style. But even in the comics, I wasn't like thrilled about the animation style. And the animation itself was good, but like the style, like the big chin and like the bigger, bulkier Batman, I wasn't a fan of. Never have been. But I do like that, as everyone said, that he's old man Bruce Wayne. Seth, I'm going to make a movie since I'm a filmmaker, and where I'm going to play just an old rundown character that's going out for like one last hurrah, just so you can finally like me. And but then we get to part two, and part two is what I remembered of this movie. Part two was it's fine. And I think the best way to say it is what everyone else has already said. There's so much going on in part two that you're just kind of pulled in 87 different directions, and you're not sure which direction you should be in. You guys said that, and maybe this is because there's so much going on, but you guys said that you thought Batman and the Joker should be like the key story of that second movie. I'd almost argue, does the Joker even need to be in it? Because there's so much other crap going on. Like I would have enjoyed the movie just the same if the Joker element hadn't even been in it. And I'm a Joker fan. I'm a Joker guy. So like, give me all the Joker. But like, I didn't feel like it was necessarily needed in this, but he's there. And it was a decent Joker, I guess, for an older Joker. I did like at the end how he kind of, like when he was in the mental institution or wherever he was, prison, wherever he was, and he hears Batman on TV and he kind of like snaps. He's like, oh, Batman, like it kind of wakes him up. I did like that. But I don't know that I really needed to see him in part two. Their fight was epic, and I'm a little upset that he killed him just because I'm a Joker fan. So I was like, why? Spoilers, but why does Joker have to die? Like Joker and Batman should never die. As long as one's alive, they should both be alive. The only way I'm okay with either of them dying is if they kill each other. I didn't like the Batman fake his death thing. Another person. Okay, so give me the Joker. Okay. Don't give me Superman. I don't need that element too. Like it was just way too much. And then lastly, I also didn't like the mutant people either. Again, I know it sounds like exactly like what Kayla and Dan said. It's just those were my gripes. But the first movie worked better than the second movie. I was just going to give it one rating, but I guess since we're splitting it up, I'd give the first movie an 8 and the second movie a 6.
I want to throw something else in there too. I don't really know if I really cared for the Robin character either. I kind of felt like she was kind of like a nuisance more than anything. Like it was kind of like, I'm this little girl, like I'm be fighting, and then I don't know, it's just so dumb. God, she was so annoying when she came out of high school, and she's like, "Oh, I got somewhere to be," and then Alfred just rolls up, opens the door, and her friend's like, "Huh?" And I'm like, that's Bruce Wayne's Alfred. Like, come on, put 2 and 2 together. But that part was so dumb. I hated it so much.
I don't know, I thought it was weird how Batman called her like a little soldier.
I know, my God, it was so weird when he picked her up and he was like,
But he also
good
referred
soldier.
to the Robin that died as he said, he's a good soldier or was a good soldier. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know if like they were trying to put that in that, like he was trying to draw parallels between the two. It's like why this woman or girl, she was 15, I guess, in the comic, would make a good Robin. But to me, I mean, you have the 70-year-old dude, this 15-year-old girl, and it's just creepy. It was just creepy.
It was very weird, and there was something else too. Oh my God, what was I just gonna say? Oh yeah, like growing up, I liked Superman. I was a Superman person more than Batman. But Superman was so useless in this. Like he was literally just the president's little like servant dude. Yeah, I was like, come on, that's so annoying. You can just zap him in the head and like don't let him like give you orders like you're gonna do what I'm gonna tell you to do.
That would be interesting to see
like
like an unhinged Superman.
Because first of all, Superman would not do that. He would not be under the president's like, you know what I mean, like, and take orders from him. He would not do that.
Well, who knows? Lois Lane might have been dead at this point.
I
So
don't know. No,
who knows
it
what he's
just
doing with his
it
life.
was it was I don't know, like I don't know.
Oh, and Selena Kyle.
Oh my God, what was up with that? Like first, like there's this lady that walks in. I'm like, wait, is that like who did we first say it was? We said it was. Oh, I was like, is that what's her face's daughter? What's it was like? Was that Barbara? Is what I said.
Oh,
And they're
yeah.
like,
Barbara
no.
Gordon.
Yeah, and they were like, no, and they're like, and then they're like, or Kyle Enterprises, and I'm like,
Time was
they
not
did
good to
not.
Selena. Bro.
Yeah, when the Joker said that, I was like, bruh. I was like, for real. I was like, dang, they did that crap on purpose. And then he gives her a kiss. I'm like, no, he did not. Oh my God, I could not believe it. I was like, they're just gonna throw people in just because they can.
That's your ideal Batman, though, with like no love interest. And truthfully, I'm gonna give it this point. Like, I'm thinking because I'm still hung up on this movie, right? The Batman. I feel like
It's the
the
second
natural
week.
progression of his character would have him end up somebody like this Batman, like just burnout, no real connections to anybody, just haggard and brutal. So just interested to see what the parallels between those two would be. But yeah.
Well, answer your thing about the good soldier thing. Yeah, that's like a pretty big gripe in like the Batman community, from what I understand, is that like no one really likes that he calls him a soldier, and I kind of agree. It just feels like off, and like Batman doesn't actually care about the person who's helping him fight crime. He's like, oh, they're just a soldier, because to me, yeah, like Batman does care about Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, all those people. So it seems kind of off that he calls him that. And and then if I do have like one gripe with part 2 is that the whole Batman faking his death thing, it doesn't bother me enough to like knock my rating down or anything. It just feels a little bit like lame. It's like that's how his story like ends, so I do understand that gripe as well. And it would be a lot better if he just died at the end. But this story came out in the mid 90s. When did it come out, Matt?
I think it was in the 80s. I think the comic. I think.
Put our Google machine out. Hold on, because you gotta remember like this story was made like in that time period, so it's like killing off your hero wasn't like really a big thing.
1986.
Yeah, so you ain't killing off your hero back in 86. And then everything that was ever made by America in that time period was always anti-Soviet Union. So they had to sprinkle in Soviet Union.
Okay, so that makes sense. That makes sense then, because I thought it was a little like out of touch. I was like, wait, like why is this something that would be happening? Okay, so that makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah. So thank you all for your reviews. I appreciate all of them. Matt, I'm gonna kick it off to you because I don't know what we're doing for next week.
Yeah, I'll introduce it and then let Kayla announce her pick. Dan, real quick, just because you said an unhinged Superman would be interesting. Did you ever see the movie Brightburn from a few years ago?
It did. I wasn't like a crazy fan of it, but I liked the fact that it was like how I would expect an alien who comes to the
Right.
world to be superior in every way, what they would be like.
It was basically, yeah, that's what I like. Like I felt like the movie itself could have been way better, but like I love the story of like this is what Superman would be if he didn't become Superman and was just evil instead.
Apparently, there's another Superman animated film I might check out after this. I don't know if Kayla would be interested or not, since she likes Superman. But
Flashpoint.
yeah, well, Flashpoint's another one that I want to look at now. But where Superman landed in like the Soviet Union.
Oh yeah, I love that movie, Superman Red Sun. Well, I've read the comic. I haven't watched the movie yet, but the comic is phenomenal.
But it looks good, and it's like, what would happen if he was on the other side? So I don't know, something interesting.
If you all want a different take on future Batman and like kind of like a world building type thing, and it's not like the whole Batman Beyond series, even though that's phenomenal. What my other pick was going to be Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. That is a fantastic movie. And it's kind of the same-ish aspect, but done in a different way. And I think you all might like that one a little bit more because it's not so jam-packed with things, and it's all about Joker and how his relationship with Batman kind of like changed towards the end of Bruce's career. So I don't know. It's one you might enjoy. Also on HBO Max.
Well, I'll just very shortly say that wraps up our animation round, boys and girls. 4 whole weeks of animated films. We hope you liked it. Leave us a comment and let us know what you thought. What's your favorite animated movie? Did we talk about it, or will we talk about it in the future? Let us know. What did you think about The Dark Knight Returns? Let us know. Just quick feedback while it's on my mind, because I'm saying let us know. We did the bonus episode of Interstellar, and as per viewer request, Logan has gotten back in touch with us and let us know that because Kayla, I believe you asked, is this one of his favorite movies? He said it's in his top 4 easily. So there's feedback on our Interstellar episode. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch that. That dropped on Monday. And so I'm saying all that so I can jump into our next category. Typically, we would have spun the wheel last week and we would have picked the genre. But in case you didn't know, kids, it's almost Mother's Day. Mother's Day is right around the corner, and we inadvertently did all of the movies that our fathers on this show like. So we're going to purposely do all the movies that our mothers like. Our mothers are going to pick our movies for the next 4 weeks. It could be scary.
Thank you, Mom.
So it's actually going to take us, I think when I looked at the calendar, 1 week past Mother's Day. Seth's episode will end us on the Mother's Day picks, and I think that'll be the week after Mother's Day. But that way we'll all get it done. Every mother gets her 15 minutes of fame. And so at this point, the rotation starts over, and I'm going to hand it over to Kayla to let us know what her mom's favorite movie is.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so I had asked my mom a while back what her favorite movies were. And she had given me a few. One was Fever Pitch, and I was like, hell no, I ain't watching that movie. She gave me a few of them. And then there was a couple other, I was like, so what would you pick, like, number 1? And so she had picked What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams. And my mom is not a very religious person, but she did say that this is her favorite movie because she hopes that this is what heaven is really like. And that's a lot coming from my mother, because you don't hear her say things like that. And I love this movie. I love Robin Williams. We've talked about this before. So this is going to be like an emotional roller coaster ride, probably for a majority of us. So yeah, buckle up and get your tissues out and have a good cry, but have a good laugh, because Robin Williams is all of that in in one. So that is my mom's. Are we saying our mom's name or no? Should we just say like mom?
You can, I guess. We never said our father's names, but
Okay. No, I'm not gonna say her name because it feels too weird. But that is
It's like if you say Beetlejuice 3 times.
I know, right? And she's gonna like pop up and be like, no. But that is my mom's pick. It unfortunately is like it was just streaming on HBO Max. I swear. But it is unfortunately not on HBO Max streaming anymore. So we are going to have to rent it. I know it is available to rent on Amazon Prime, but it's available to rent on other platforms as well, like Vudu and places like that. But yeah, so if you want to watch it, you have to rent it. If you own it, then watch it. But does anybody here own it?
I do own it, yes.
Oh, sweet. Oh, you don't own it? Okay. But yeah, I hope everybody enjoys it. If you haven't seen it already. Seth, have you seen it? Oh, okay. So it's first time for you. Sweet. Okay. Sweet. Well,
I think we're all smiling because we all know what Seth's review is going to be next week.
I don't know. I don't know. I think he might surprise us because it's Robin Williams. I mean, it's going to be different, I think. So I'm looking forward to hearing.
It's definitely different.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, that ends my little segment.
Seth, this is your turn.
Yeah, sorry, Earth to Seth. I forgot I'm hosting. So thank you all for reviewing, and thank you, Kayla's mom, for your pick. We do appreciate it. Everyone, enjoy your week, and Matt, take us away.
Everybody, go watch What Dreams May Come, wherever you can find it. And then be sure to tune in next week as we review it. Have a great week, as Seth said, and of course, love one another.
Bye.